Hey guys, we were having technical difficulties on my computer, unfortunately. Something to do with the audio, so we're going to do it handheld right now.
Hopefully you can hear us this time.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to start over because we didn't have any audio in our last feed. So, quickly, this is Couple Chat. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie, and this is Nate.
So, we're doing a top 10 quarantine video games list this time, and at the end of the video, we will be showing you guys this bad boy, the Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I haven't opened it yet. Jackie convinced me to wait on that, so yeah. So anyway, Jackie, if you want to start with your list.
Sure. So my list starts with my number 10, which is Death Stranding. It came out while I was on a brief maternity leave before Nate came. And I played through a couple hours of it, but I watched Matt play through most of it. And I really think that it played a big part in everything that we kind of went through with our pregnancy and things like that. We won't ruin it for you, but it was a pretty amazing game. And the effects are just gorgeous, and it's a pretty awesome game. So if you get a chance to download that or purchase that, definitely go and take a look. And Death Stranding is my number 10.
Okay, my number 10 is a game you guys might not be able to get your hands on if you have an old PS2 lying around and you have this game, or you know how to emulate. It's a really great co-op game to play. My first 5 are co-op games, but it's Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Really awesome hack and slash RPG that Jackie and I love to play.
Mm-hmm. And then my number 9 is Mass Effect, the trilogy. So everything up to before Andromeda. I think it's a beautiful game. The graphics are just amazing. The fact that the story allows you to choose your path, and certain choices you make can change the outcome, which is pretty cool. And also your relationships are really important in that game, and Matt introduced me to that game, so it kind of also shows you how important real relationships are and how interesting it is to kind of have that all happen in space. So that's my number 9. My number 9.
Cool. So my number 9 is another game that might be hard for you guys to get your hands on, but I had to put it on there because Jackie and I are huge into it right now, and it's Rock Band 4 Rivals. Not to go down the whole story again, but her and I, before Nate came along, we were really itching to play Rock Band again, so I found a whole set on Let Go for $90, purchased Rock Band 4 on the PlayStation Store for $60, and with all that, we were able to play our whole backlog of songs and previous games that we've had, and hi Maria.
Hi Maria.
And yeah, so it's awesome. If you guys can get your hands on it, definitely recommend to play.
Yeah, for sure. My number 8 game is Broforce. This game is really fun. You can play it with up to 4 players at a time, and it is one of those games for us where we can play it even when we want just mindless time.
Oh no! Don't get annoyed now.
That's a first.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Thanks for the help before.
Yeah. But Broforce is really fun. It kind of ties in like all the action heroes from films, and like the Broad from Kill Bill, and like just really cool action stars. And it's a 2-bit little RPG. It doesn't look great, but it's lots of fun because everything explodes. It's pretty fantastic. So if you guys get a chance, definitely play Broforce. That is my number 8 pick.
Okay, and my number 8 is Cuphead, which you can play on pretty much any console, but another co-op game that you can play single player. Really, really hard game, but so much fun. Jackie and I have been stuck on we were stuck on the same boss fight for 6 months because it's seriously that hard. Yeah. But if you're playing it single player, supposedly it's easier. However, we love the game, and we still have yet to finish it, even though we've had it for about a year. But perfect time to play it right now.
Yeah. My number 7. My number 7.
Jackie knows how to count,
I
guys.
do. My number 7 choice is Super Mario World. It's definitely one of my favorites from when I was a child. It's like a classic game that we used to play all the time when we were kids. And then when Matt and I started dating, it was something that he really enjoyed as well. So it's just something that is really nostalgic for us. And I also really like it because it's challenging. It can take hours, but it's really fun. And it doesn't feel like wasted time because it is so nostalgic. And it's really cool to kind of pass down to the next generations, like little Nate here.
Cool. So my number 7 is another co-op game that you can play single player, Resident Evil 6.
Mm-hmm.
So really, really fun game to play co-op. It may not be the best Resident Evil for single player, but play any Resident Evil at this time. You have the time. But
and it lines up pretty well with this pandemic.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'll get back to that later. Yeah. But anyway, 6 is a lot of fun to play with somebody. You know, you have 20 plus hours of gameplay, 6 different characters to play. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. My number 6 game is called Outland. It's a beautiful game. It's a side scroller and it's co-op, but you can also play it on your own. It's not local co-op. It's only online co-op at this time, as far as I know. But this game is just, the graphics are beautiful. The story is really interesting. It's really interesting for me because when I first played this game, I wasn't that good of a video gamer. And when Matt and I got together and he really kind of broadened my eyes, and I started out with Assassin's Creed and all this stuff, so it's really cool to for Outland for me. It kind of challenged me in a way that I'd never been before. And it was really cool to be able to play it with Matt. We kind of played it side by side. We had 2 PS3s, 2 TVs. It was lots of fun. So I like Outland. That's my number 6.
Cool. So my number 6, which Jackie has already mentioned, is Broforce. And definitely worth mentioning twice because it is a lot of fun. Yeah. You know, in the same vein as those retro 2D side scrollers from like the Super Nintendo era. That's exactly what Broforce is, but with all your favorite action heroes. You know, Schwarzenegger makes an appearance, Stallone, John McClane, Bruce Willis from Die Hard. Like that's not even everyone. Like there's at least 50 different characters. It's a really good game.
Yeah. My number 5 is something Max mentioned.
Wow, are we like the same person?
Do we like games? Do we like the same games? Yeah. So my number 5 is Cuphead. So as Matt said earlier, it's been very hard for us.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Can you hear us?
But Cuphead's been really fun, even though it's been really difficult. Hi. But what's cool about Cuphead is it's old time graphics, like old cartoon graphics, but it's new gaming difficulty, which is really fun.
In the vein of like Mickey Mouse. It plays on that whole, you know, original Mickey Mouse cartoon where he's on the boat and everything. Yeah. That's basically what Cuphead resembles.
Yeah, and it's beautiful and fun and difficult all at once. So if you want to take on a challenge during this quarantine, you may as well try it.
Cool. So now my list actually transforms into the last 5 all are single player games. I picked these games specifically because we have so much time, and this is the perfect opportunity to play something that may consume a lot of your time.
It will.
Yeah. So where it is definitely my least favorite of the series, I put it on here because it's open world and there's a lot to do, but Metal Gear Solid 5 is my number 5. And yeah, I mean... Okay. Oh, no. Amanda. Gotcha. Nice. So yeah, it's not my favorite of the series, but because it's open world, we have a lot of time to play. And, I mean, it has its moments. The gameplay is really great, so there are some great things about it, but I put it on there because I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, and honestly, if you don't want to play 5, play all the others. It will still consume the same amount of time to play 1 through 4, but you'll have way better time, in my opinion.
Yes, we remember outside. We missed it, so.
Yes.
And we still miss it.
Yeah.
So my number 4 game is a single player game, and it's also something that not a lot of people have access to still. At least this version of it. There's been many, many, many versions of this game, or the series rather. I'm sure you could play it on the Switch or Nintendo Wii U if you have it. But my number 4 is Zelda. And the specific one. Oh, okay. The specific one is Ocarina of Time. So.
Oh. That's the best one. Let's all be honest.
It is. And it's just, Matt has it on an emulator that I get to play, once in a blue moon. And I really love this game. And it reminds me again of my childhood. Me and my little sister used to go back and forth playing our save data. And it's always fun to be able to put your name in Link's space. It's like, oh, what's your name again? And I just love that stuff. And the world is beautiful. The game is awesome, even though it's really bad graphics. It's really fun.
Jackie, Nate is trying to say, hey, listen.
What?
Hey, listen.
Hey. But yeah, Zelda's my number 4 for sure.
Cool. So my number 4 is a game that I still have yet to play, but I purposely put it on here because I've been wanting to, and I hear it's amazing, but it's Horizon Zero Dawn. Jackie bought me this game 2, maybe 3 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
And the game has just gotten rave reviews. It's a PS4 exclusive, and now it's coming out for PC this summer. So, I mean, if quarantine lasts that long, I'm probably going to wait until it comes out on PC. But I hope not. I hope that the quarantine...
You already own it.
I hope that the quarantine doesn't last that long, but I really kind of want to play it on PC. But anyway, Horizon Zero Dawn is another open world game. Takes place in, strangely enough, an apocalyptic world, but the difference is it's been hundreds of years. So the world that we know now, these people have no idea. It was lost in the past, and now they've moved on, and there are sentient creatures that are artificial intelligence that roam the lands that you have to basically harvest for parts and stuff. It's a really cool concept, and again, you'll take 30 to 40 hours to play the whole story, so we have the time, play it up. But Horizon Zero Dawn is my number 4.
Okay, so my number 3 is a game that Matt's already mentioned. Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance.
Woo!
It's
one
definitely
of the best co-op games ever.
It is, and we've always had a blast playing it from get-go. When we played it for the first time on the PS2 together, it was just, it has a special place in our hearts, in our relationship, and just, it's a lot of fun. It's a hack and slash, and it's a really, really a good time. And I love collecting the coin and the potions. Matt will need it.
She's a hoarder.
Oh yeah, Matt will need it, and I'll just go around picking it all up. It's great. But you can pass between each other, so that works out.
Yeah. All right, so my number 3 is a game Jackie already mentioned, but it's Death Stranding, and I put it pretty high on my list because the game turned around for me. In the first few hours, I was like, I can't stand this game, but I needed to get through it because I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan. I pushed through, which is ironic because I feel like that's kind of what the game is about, and that's what he was trying to say. While I think it could have been a lot better, it's so worth playing. And again, it's going to consume a lot of time, but I think it's enjoyable if played in an environment that we're in right now, kind of stuck inside and just getting through a game like this. And, one of the coolest parts about the game, which Jackie hadn't mentioned, that I wanted to wait until I got around to saying it, but the whole point of the game is it's not multiplayer, but other gamers affect the game world.
Yeah.
So if you connect to a bridge, then all of a sudden, there'll be items around, and there'll be, you need a bridge to get to another location. Some other player would have built the bridge, whatever the case is. There's a lot of different things that other players influence in the game world, and I think that kind of is what the world is like right now, and Death Stranding, you kind of piece the United States back together, and you're going from New York to California to basically tether the world back together. So, I mean, I think it speaks a lot to where we are and what we're going through right now. And because of that, I wanted to put it a little higher on my list because that's how I felt about it anyway. That it connects, it's connecting people together.
Yeah,
and
it's about the community. It's not about the single person. Right. It's about everyone as a whole, which is cool because they can help you succeed in your story or they can help you fail in certain parts of your story, which is nice.
For sure, but yet still completely single player.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool. So my number 2 choice is something that I used to play in my dorm room in college. And it's just one of those things where it kind of brings people together. You can have as many players as you can get on the system. And it's really a good time if you have the console.
Nate does not want to hear it.
Which I had a Wii in college, and I used to play this game a lot. We used to, get the whole dorm room floor.
Because you said Wii U.
We used to get the whole dorm building to play, and it was lots of fun. We used to have tournaments and stuff.
Ready, guess?
And if you guys can't guess... Okay, anyway, if you guys can't guess, it's Super Smash Brawl. And what I loved about this game is it also had a story on top of it, having, multiplayer where you can actually brawl people. But
Brawl to me is still... I mean, it's my favorite because it came out around a cool time in my life. I was still in high school, and it was the first Super Smash Brothers to have Solid Snake in it, which is one of my favorite video game characters, and I have taken him up as my favorite Brawl character. Obviously, now you can play him again, but I don't have a Switch. I don't know if I want to Switch. Keep thinking about it, but haven't got one yet.
Someone has to just buy it for us. You want to buy it for us?
I mean...
Not the light, the regular one.
Somebody buys it, I'm not going to say no. I'll say thank you.
Anyway, so Smash Brothers Brawl is definitely my number 2 because it has so much nostalgia to it and it had a great story.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can't play Brawl, Smash in general is fun.
Smash is fun.
The newest one we have played quite a few times with friends, and that's the coolest part. Like we don't need a Switch, so we go play Smash with our friends at their houses, and we have a blast with it, and then we come home and we play something else, or we play Brawl. But in the end, like, you can play any Smash and still have an amazing time with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my number 2, I put it on here because I'm playing it right now because it just came out, and it's an amazing game so far. It's Resident Evil 3. So I know I already put Resident Evil 6 on the list, but I put that on the list because it's co-op, and Jackie and I had a lot of fun with it. And I put Resident Evil 3 on the list, especially number 2, because, well, strangely enough, it has a lot to do with, a pandemic or an epidemic. And as I'm playing it, especially today, I played a little bit before we came on, and there's a lot of things that make me feel like it just fits really well in what we're going through. And Capcom did a good job bringing this out at the right time. Hello, Justin Ho.
Hi.
And so Resident Evil 3, really good. Check out some of those similarities to what we're going through. But yeah, if you're just looking for a really good zombie shoot 'em up, I mean, mystery, horror, and then on top of that, seeing that evolution of video games. If you've been a Resident Evil fan as long as myself and my brother, then the original Resident Evil is the original Resident Evil 3 was a great game in itself, but now they were able to bring it into the new age, and gamers that may have never played it can now play the game, and yeah. And it's really good so far. I haven't beaten it yet, but I really think I'm going to enjoy the rest of it.
Yeah. Hi, Philly. Okay, so some honorable mentions: Resident Evil 3, obviously, Assassin's Creed. Those games really. Resident Evil 3 is just beautiful, like he said, and all the stuff. There's like posters in the game that says "Wash your hands." Really?
I'm probably going to post them on like Instagram or Facebook just so you guys can see what I'm talking about and what she's talking about. Like, there are some really funny moments that I was just like, oh my god, are we in quarantine?
Yeah. And there's like a diary entry about, oh my gosh, we're running out of room and we're running out of resources. There's too many people. So it's just really interesting to see that it could be kind of related to what's going on right now. So that's an honorable mention. Assassin's Creed, you know, the first 2 games were fantastic. I love those games.
Yeah, definitely the second.
They were beautifully done. Uncharted, also another game for me that's an honorable mention. I would have put them in my top 10, but I felt like I didn't play Uncharted, so it was hard to kind of include. And then...
great series.
It is a great series.
This is Nate, by the way.
Hi, Nate.
Nathan, not Drake, though. Nathan Hahns.
Anyway, so that was, you know, those were a couple of my honorable mentions. It's hard to pick top 10. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Matt, what are your honorable mentions before we go on to our number ones?
Honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Honestly, this time around, for some reason, this was easier for me. I didn't really have any honorable mentions. You know, I kind of, I picked the series that I really love. I got Metal Gear Solid in there, and it's honestly mostly all I cared about. I mean, I guess I'll put Mass Effect as an honorable mention because I didn't really think about it until Jackie had mentioned it, and I do love that series. I would love to play it again, and I think now's a perfect opportunity. So yeah, I mean, maybe Mass Effect. Other than that, I unfortunately don't really have any.
Cool. So, my number 1, drum roll please.
Hold on, ready?
My number 1 is a game that you can play on something called Game Boy Emulator on your cell phone, and it's called Pokemon Yellow. I mean, come on, guys. Look, Pikachu is just the
Why are you showing everybody in the world your boobs?
I'm showing them my Pokemon tank top with all my Pokemon. My boy Charmander. Anyway, it's just fantastic. It is literally everything and everything that I could possibly
Mom, you're a
remember. Okay. Everything that made me love it back then when it released in 98, I think. It's an old game, but it's
an old game.
I used to play it.
So wait, you're saying 1998 is old now?
No. I'm just saying, like, it's a classic. It's Game Boy.
Yeah.
But it's a very important game to me because it's my childhood, literally. It's just really fun and nostalgic to be able to play it, and I really encourage anybody and everybody who's ever played a Pokemon game, go back and play an original 151 game, and you'll know the roots of Pokemon, and you'll love them.
Jackie,
more.
The 7 people that were listening are now gone because you mentioned Pokemon. There's 1 person on now.
Hey, 1 person. Go play Pokemon. Go play Pokemon Yellow. Anyway, Matt, your number 1?
My number 1 is Red Dead Redemption 2. The reason why I put that on there is because, you know, same as everything else, it's open world, so much to do, so much to explore, but the game itself is just amazing. And
Let's switch.
But yeah, the game itself is amazing. One of the best open world games I think I've ever played. And, you know, it advanced on everything that the first one did well. And just the story, the acting, the gameplay. Red Dead Redemption 2 is hands down one of my favorite open world games. And I love Westerns as well, so to put this at number 1, I would surely sit and play this game all day right now. It's just, obviously, there's a lot going on, a lot to do for me and for the family over here. So I don't have the time to do it, but you may. And you should. And the cool part about it is you can play online. So if you are playing online with friends and family, you have that ability as well. And, you know, obviously, they came out with the PC version not that long ago, so we have it on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So you can play it across multiple platforms. I personally have it on PS4 if anyone was interested in playing with me. I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I can't play it with you. So. But I'll probably be getting it for PC soon anyway. So once I get it for PC, if you have it on PC, then we can play, because you don't have to pay for PC Online, because that's stupid.
Shocker.
Anyway, so that's my top 10 list.
And that's a naked baby.
Shield your eyes!
No.
So that's my top 10 list.
That's my top 10 too. And that's Nate.
Naked Nate. Anyway, so that was our top 10 quarantine video games list. And now, as a little bonus, we are going to open up the Star Wars Skywalker Saga 4K HD Limited Edition that I think is exclusive to Best Buy. But I couldn't pass this up. Jackie kind of said, hey, happy Father's Day, early Father's Day. So I have that, and I'm going to open it up for you guys to see.
Yeah.
We figured it was a good time to get it. I mean, I have all the Star Wars movies except Rise of Skywalker, but...
And Last Jedi.
Yeah. But I figured this is a good way to get them all on 4K, and now we can watch them through while we're in quarantine, all 9. So here we go.
Well, that was part of our top 10.
Our last week top 10. It's Kala, guys. Look.
There's a cat.
Answers.
There's a cat. Hi,
And she's gone.
And he has the razor. And he's cracking that baby open.
What is this, golf?
No. More exciting than that, it's Star Wars.
Nate's not excited right now. I think Nate wants to eat. You know, there is one thing I'll say about this set. Well, it looks awesome. I don't see why they chose the Death Star. You know, like, if it's the Skywalker Saga, it would have been a lot cooler to see, like... See? He doesn't like it either.
Here.
What? But it would have been a lot cooler if there was, like young Anakin growing into Vader, then Luke, and, I don't know, Rey or something. Because, you know, she's a Skywalker, guys. She's a Skywalker. Anyway, so yeah. So here we go.
Can you take that?
Jackie's handing it off.
I'm sorry, guys.
Nate is struggling. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Hold on. Hold the phone. Get it. It's a phone.
Oh God, you and the dad joke.
All right, here we go. We have no guests anymore. Nobody wanted to hear Nate cry. I'm right there with you guys.
Hey.
What? Nobody wants to hear their baby cry. Anyway, trying so hard to pop this without ruining it, and it's not working. There we go. There we go. All right. Flip that open. All right, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? Let's see. What's in here? All right. So, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars. Blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. And there's a letter in here by Mark Hamill himself. Jacqueline.
I'm coming.
Would you? I don't want to read this without you, or would you like to read it?
I'll read it. I'm coming. Hold on.
And then, you know, one of the most important parts to me, the digital copies. So let's go through this a little bit. Oh, it's a kitty. It's a kitty. Meow. Oh, hi, Calla. All right. There we go. That's pretty cool. It's got Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones. That's awesome. I'm glad they kept like this book feel, because the Skywalker Saga that came out on Blu-ray before Disney owned things. That's cool. That set also was a book like this, and they used artwork and stuff like that to show each film. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. My favorite, Empire. Cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. And there's 2 discs per movie. I think one is Blu-ray, one is 4K. The Senate members that they never really talk about, but you can see them enter with Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. Now we're into the Disney Star Wars films, and I mean, I think Jackie can agree with this, but Force Awakens definitely is the best. And oh, yeah, then there's this movie. I love Rian Johnson, folks, but I just can't. And there you go. And Rise of Skywalker. Whatever the hell that means. And it was good, but was it necessary? Nah. Was this new trilogy necessary? Nah, but it was done. And that's where we are. So. Yeah. So this is his limited edition box set, and now I'm gonna hand this over to Jacqueline if you wanna stand yonder and read this little note from Mark Hamill to his fandom, which I think is pretty cool that they got him to do that.
Yeah. Okay. What an extraordinary journey it's been. Back in 1976, when Carrie, Harrison, and I were testing for our roles in what was then called The Adventures of Luke Starkiller, as taken from the Journal of Willis, Saga 1, The Star Wars.
Journal of the Wills, right?
No. Oh, Wills, sorry. Journal of the Wills. I can't read.
She's also not like a nerdy Star Wars fan like I am, I guess. She doesn't know what the Wills are.
There's no way we could have known what an incredibly rich and imaginative set of adventures this obscure little space movie would launch, inspiring 8 more chapters to tell the entire Skywalker story. For some of you, that journey began with us over 40 years ago, inviting Star Wars into your lives from the seats of just a few dozen theaters in its first days of release. For others, you may have joined us somewhere along the way. From the harrowing saga of young Anakin's descent to the dark side in the prequel trilogy, or the introduction of an entirely new generation of heroes in the sequel trilogy. As Carrie once said, Star Wars is about family, and that is what we have all become. One giant community that shares the common experience of these stories and the fundamental values they instill in us. Whether you're a relative newcomer to the Star Wars galaxy, or a longtime UPF, ultra-passionate fan, I am deeply thankful for your continued enthusiasm and dedication to George's faraway galaxy, which will continue to grow with new storytellers building an even bigger galaxy filled with heroes, villains, action, romance, and of course, the Force. May the Force be with you. Always, Mark Hamill.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, folks.
That's cool.
Well, that's the couple chat for this Tuesday. Thank you for sticking around with us.
Sorry about the shaky handycam there and the technical difficulties before and the screaming baby.
That's okay.
But all's good now.
Life of parents, right?
Right.
Anyway, see you guys next week.
Here are the Hahns.
Here.
Ready?
Here are the Hahns signing out. By the way, you can find our recommendations coming soon to Instagram and
Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.